Tryna be perfect, using dirty shit to clean dirt with. Only happy when the weed burning. Traded oxygen to breathe herping. Till I see curtains, lungs fail and they cease working. Air is something that I need urgent. Suffocating, trying to squeeze words in. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad blessed, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Sweater shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
I let the record show. I let the tech explode. Put up the weapon show. Pull up the Texaco. Narcos in Mexico. Call up the technical. They know the text a blow. Shout out I'm Plexico. Turn you to vegetable. Body electrical. Accident alkaline. Body so flexible. The shooters feast like a Uber Eats. Got a group of these suited these scooter bees. While letting the Uzi Aruga speak. An American God up in Cuba eats. The powers they seek and powers the weak. They follow and creep. Powers that be inherit the world from cowards and sheep. Been to the mountaintop towers and peaks. Flowers and sweets and showered our feet. The lightning and thunder that shower the sleep. Shower the D's. This not a verse, this our receipts.
What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad blessed, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Sweater shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
It's like a track finish. I attract women, they the bad women. I'ma splash in them, leave a bag with them. Then I raise seeds to be mad different. If I die now, I'm coming back in them. Cause they dad missing, but they cash dripping. Cause they royalty, so they brag different. Ain't no ass kissing, never had feelings. Seen a white victim and a black witness. Mac gripping on my last mission. Yacht sipping, blowing blackism. Gat missing, he was lack slipping. Smack hit him, now he act different. Apparition, the bad vision. The Mac a chip him and crash the system. Uncle Tom, cause you that willing. Fuck the law, I'm going back to living. Astral prisms of black religions. Activisms of conversations. Sacrilegious, the palms of Satan. Black magicians, Babylon are racing. Raise our hands to the God we praising. Hustling, the marathon we racing. Nipsey at the finish line, he waiting.
What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Mad blessed, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down on my last cent. Cash spent from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Sweater shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt. Never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
Whew. There you have it, family. That's Last Breath off of the phenomenal album of the seminal work, the album of the year, in my humble opinion, Holy Ghost 2, Black Magic featuring Cambada, which is now today at midnight released on all streaming platforms. Now, it's on YouTube. It's Father Rich has the album on his channel streaming, and it's on all streaming platforms. So, yeah, mark this day on your calendar. When you hear that song, they're going to be like, where was you when 9/11 happened? They're going to be like, where were you when you heard Holy Ghost 2? I remember when I first heard Wu-Tang's Protect Your Neck album. I remember where I was and what I was doing and what I was wearing when I heard Illmatic, definitely the Biggie album. I remember where I was when I heard Public Enemy's Bum Rush the Show. Whew, that was an eye opener, you know. But let's do this roll call. Pardon me, y'all. Let me get this roll call on so we can see globally what this network is looking like and what the connection is actually. We got Chicago in the building. We starting off with the Shy, with the Windy City. No, we got West Phoenix in the building. All right. West End, ATL in the building. Inglewood Native in the building. Nashville in the building. Baltimore in the building. Okay. Long Beach in the building. 206 Bay Area, Harlem, Toronto, Arkansas. All right. Shout out to Arkansas in the building. Shout out to, yeah. Ooh. Hold on. Bloomfield, Connecticut. West Philly. Des Moines. Flint Town. 305. Louisville. What up, Louisville? South Phoenix. Sacktown. 727. North Kakalaka. Jersey City. Fort Worth, Texas. Norway. Atlanta up in this bitch. Oh, up in this place. Houston in the building. Newark in the building. All right. Full moon Friday the 13th in this building. You know? Charlotte is in the building. Okay. Inland Empire. San Bernardino, California. Salute to y'all. Yeah, Cali is super heavy. Always in the chat. Along with the Carolines. Along with Atlanta. And definitely New York. Town business too. It's Oakland is always deep. And Detroit, my bad. And of course the DMV. Yeah. Always in the building. Man, fuck it. The whole world is always in the building. How y'all doing tonight, man? Was really good. Welcome to another episode of Th3rd This is episode 36. Your host for this evening is your brother Red Pill, returning safe and sound. Back to the headquarters, back to the honeycomb. You know what I'm talking about? Back to my mothership. You know, I'm back in the town. I'm back in New York. Okay? I'm back in the X, plugged in on my grid. Back safely from Houston, Texas. Shout out to Houston, Texas. Everybody in Houston, Texas who made my stay magical. Now my stay. I'm gonna keep uploading little videos with me and my daughter because it's the cutest thing. And we need as much light and we need as much love and we need as much expressions and frequency of love, you know, rather than I give out a lot of, I shovel out a lot of bad news in my career. You know what I mean? I give out a lot of, you know, I'm the bearer of a lot of bad shit. I'm the red pill. So sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. And, you know, waking up and whatnot, like you saw that scene in the Matrix with Neo when Morpheus lifted up the veil and he really got to see the world for what it was. He couldn't unsee that. So you balance it out by bringing joy to the people. And I had a lot of joy this week. You know, the environment is very different in Texas. You're able to definitely, you know, move at a slower pace, but still do a lot of things, you know, still able to accomplish a lot of things. And I did not feel like I was on a hamster wheel. That's very important. You know, that's very important. Being able to plug in, you know, it's funny that different states that you go to have a different operating system. So you're plugging into different currencies or you're plugging into different speeds when you go different places. Like when I plug into Atlanta, it's electric. It's electrified. So I'm doing, and it's magnetic as you know, that red clay is very magnetic. So the pace that I'm moving in the A is not the pace that I'm moving with in Houston. And it's definitely not the pace I'm moving in New York. You dig what I'm saying? But if I go in the airport, you know what I mean? That is a whole different pace right there in it of itself. I want to talk about the airports real quick because This is something that I've been noticing. You feel me? Now I'm gonna qualify, you know, the whole situation, and you know, and started off by saying that we are God. All of us are God. You know what I mean? Those who know, right? And those who walk in that light, and those who are on the road to perdition. Man, know thyself. The opposite of what somebody like and no offense to this brother, but an example that I would use would be a video that I just saw with Charlemagne saying that he didn't know thyself. He had no idea who he was. Well, I would say the opposite of that. When man is on the quest of knowing thyself, you know, you will begin to, experience some things that you won't necessarily experience if you're not on the quest of knowing yourself. This is all a gift. It's a gift of, it's a reward for your labor of trying to get to know yourself. Remember, that's the ultimate goal. So in the airports of America, I could get to know myself better by doing what? By traveling amongst people who, I'm trying to get, who when they see me, it's not like they want to get to know me. And when I see them, I don't want to really get to know them too tough. But the energy and the quote unquote, the revelations that I'm coming to, it really struck me today. I'm in Houston Airport. And if anything knows of anybody, I mean, I don't really have to spell it out. I'm in Texas, right? So when I went to the airport this morning, I had a white tee, this regular white tee on, right? My airport etiquette was definitely one where I was like, look, man, I don't care how I look. I don't care. I'm not here with proper Negro airport etiquette. Because black people show up to the airport in their Sunday's best. The airport is, they have to remember, in certain places, it's one or two realities. It's either you a rambunctious, undomesticated Negro, or you're a polite, domesticated Negro. There's really no in between in certain places, yo. It happens other places, but places in the South, that's no in between. So when you're dressed a certain way and your hair is mad wild, and you walking through there and your head is not down, and you're walking with your head up, and you playing Cambada on 10, and you got these jewels on, family. Now, one of the sad things about our people is that not our people, but the sad things about people who don't have our experience, let's just say that, or who don't share our culture, they get intimidated when they see somebody of a different culture who doesn't look like everybody that they're used to seeing. Like, it's like they're not able to necessarily, it's like they won't be able to register in their mind, like, what kind of Negro is this? Wait a minute, like, what the hell is this? This is a glitch. So I'm walking through Texas airport the way that I'm coming through. You understand? Like, and I left wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I left a little wisdom behind. I'm download. I'm going through the whole experience of this magical week that I had, and I got a stern look on my face, and I didn't have no shape up. My shit was on shape up mode. My shit was on Rick Ross. So these Europeans were looking at me like, there's a dynamic, right? This is what I came to the conclusion. Melanated people, right? Black people, and this is not for separation purposes. You know what I'm saying? Because I just saw the guy Savan Seven Bomar on Black Magic. We're gonna talk about that, but he's expanded my consciousness to a whole nother level. right? But this is what I noticed today. It's a simple mathematics, so we don't have to go all over the place with this thing. Melanated people in their natural instinctive self, right? We don't travel the planet and necessarily have a fear of any group of other people who don't look like that. That's not our nature. I don't know about where you're from, but that's not necessarily who we are as a historical people. Now, in America, especially in places that I've been, there's this level of fear that people who don't look like us have for us that we don't have for them. And it's the fear that they have is something that they cannot be comfortable in a circumference around you with, because they are scared to fucking death of a untamed, a undomesticated. You understand? If they look, remember, your spirit is communicating. Your aura is your everything is still being communicated. Like the brother said on the show, it's like a network. It's like being aligned up. So I said it before. You'll meet up with somebody who secretly y'all have adversarial, feelings towards each other, and in the spirit realm, your spirit is going to duel with your spirit in that realm. You're still you're on different levels, resolving that conflict. In the spiritual realm, it's not trickled down in the y'all smiling in each other's face and he-heing and all of that, but on a higher realm, y'all dueling it out. And then that's the heebie-jeebies that you feel around people, and that's all of that's, that's those knives in your back. What did they say? We go to war on higher principalities in the spirit realm. So they say you got to watch out for that person. They got a bad spirit. They spirit don't mix with me. When they come around, my spirit feel a kind of way. That's because you're being spiritually attacked by that person's spirit. So we naturally ain't even scared of the police. Whatever's going on with all of these shootings is definitely a media manipulated, controlled social programming to put us in that fear state, because they want you to be afraid of them so they can stop being afraid of you. You don't understand it. I don't think y'all get this shit, because some people are not experienced. We have all unique experiences. Okay? We have all unique experiences. What I know is the fact that if people don't have what you have, look, remember, nobody can't necessarily ever make fun of my crown because my shit's standing up. You understand? I'm looking at people with fucking manes, bro. My non-ether is talking. I'm in a plane, my shit moving, talking to the clouds. Like my hair is alive. You understand? And when people look at you, and my skin is glowing, it's golden. So when these people look at you, they're fetishing, but at the same time, the fragility is being shown, and the fear of the Black Messiah, the fear of you and your God self, the fear of when you're online, the fear of what they can't understand because the shit is a little bit too much. It's like you're an exotic fucking, and they saw you get busy in Africa. They saw you get busy in different places. So it's almost like being in the Bronx Zoo with niggas that's defanged. But then you be like, yo, if these niggas start acting up, like the safari videos that you see with a wildlife is starting to act up, where them people thought that they were safe around them. So who do they feel the most comfortable around in these situations and in these circumstances? Those of us who demonstrate the traits of being domesticated and highly compromised, because those people are safe around them because they're non-threatening. They don't threaten them. Okay, they show them their teeth. They want to see your teeth. You understand? They want to feel comfortable in your space. They want to make sure that you are not trying to disrupt anything. Like Jay-Z said, I'm not trying to make y'all upset. You know, I'm not trying to disrupt it. I'm so Brooklyn, I'm not trying to make y'all upset. Or whatever the word that he said. You understand? It's appeasing them. They want to, if you don't appease them, and there's a segment, there's a protected segment, and as a result of their protection, amongst other things, they appease these people. You understand? They appease these people. They're the celebrated and the glorified help. All right? They're the appeasers. You know what I'm saying? And then we have nurturers amongst us. We have women who are wet nurses to these people. And they have those people around them, not only massaging egos, but feeding them like the battery in the Matrix. They give them their children willingly, Hansel and Gretel. Okay? This is a fact. The breeding farms are the Hilton hotels and the Marriotts and all of those now. Let's be clear. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. I'm down there. Nigga, the shit that I was exposed to opened up my eyes. Cause the part of I was in the eye of the storm, my guy. I was in the hillbilly Dorian hurricane, my nigga. I was across the street, and I was exposed to trailer parks. You know what I'm talking about? I was able to get online. You know how when you open up your Wi-Fi and it's all of these motherfucking options, nigga? I hacked into their whole shit, and I was able to download the hillbilly virtual experience, nigga. And I seen certain things. And these people, okay, have a ingrown fear of something that is greater than them. That's the best way to say it without trying to sound all kind of ways. And remember, we're all light beings. Remember, we're all spiritual. Remember all of this. But remember, it's still this game that's being played. It's still this dualness, this left and right spirit, this red and the blue. You know what I mean? The 1 and the 2, the 0 and the 1. You feel me? It's still at play. Hermes Trismegistus is still at play. You know, it's still the 2. It's still the pillars. So shit is playing out like that. That's the friction. That's reality. And in between, you know what I mean? That's what you're looking at. But I'm telling you, these people, they are only focusing, and their own, these gentrifiers, these newer people who may have, you know, who have a lot of placement, a lot of ad placement in Black affairs or Negro affairs or God body affairs. Well, not necessarily God body affairs, but the people's affairs. So my whole thing is this: if we're all gonna wake up, then let's all wake up together. You understand? But the things that I was seeing had me like, wow, the code, like if there's no code, you know, and people say get on code, right? But I would want to expand that. I would want to expand that, and I would say get on code development. You know, not just get on code, you know what I mean? Get on creating some codes, because that's what's needed right now. There's some algorithms that need to be written to start leveling this thing out the way that it's supposed to be. You know, it's you know, this thing is hackable. It's mad hackable. The formula is under, you know what I mean? The formula is what it is. It's the crest theory. Feed that to the AI. Feed the crest theory to the AI. Feed philosophies and opinions to the AI. Feed becoming like a god to the AI. You know what I mean? We could go on GitHub. We could go into these places and we could develop. I did Into Deep 1, Into Deep 2.2. I get into the deep mind. That's AI. That's telling our people, stop talking to me about what Elon Musk said. Stop talking to me about whatever the fuck they gonna throw at you from Microsoft. The same people that have been manipulating you. You could build your own AI, my genius. Just ask your brothers in Africa. You know what I mean? You know, hit them on the WhatsApp. You know what I'm saying? Give him a call. I know it's been a while. Y'all had that falling out after you found out that you was on Ancestry.com. But you should call him on WhatsApp and find out about some coding, because that's where the future is at. That's where the power is. Technology is power. And the technology of God, like the brother said in the and we showed in American Gods, the technology God has taken over. You understand? It's the time of the artificial intelligence, the deep mind, the tech God, the light God, like Dr. Philip Valentine L. You know what I'm saying? The light code dimension. You know, the prism. You know, I'm talking about Spectrum. Remember Spectrum in Flatbush? I'm so Brooklyn. Remember Spectrum sound system? You know, but and you don't have to look. I'm not aggressive. You know what I mean? But when people, and it's a guilty fear. I'm still on this Texas thing. I'm still on this airport thing too, because I was in Dallas and I was in Houston, but I'm in the airport, global air. You know, I'm going through gates and whatnot, and I'm just peeping everything. You know, I seen Bernie Sanders when I was going down there. That's what started this. Let's be clear. I seen Bernie, you know, I dapped Bernie up, and we didn't talk about politics or nothing, but he gave me the nod. You know, that was funny. But from there on, when I went into Texas, I saw that it's just they're operating like there was Confederates, like these is like ZZ Top Confederate looking, you know, straight, like, you know, they have all of the poster of all the active shooters or the mass shooters. Like these dudes in Texas look like their face could be put right there. I'm talking about these the KKK beards and everything, and they got the finest sisters on either on their arm, or they could just walk right up to them and have any conversation they want. You got to remember in these military towns, you know, because the black men have been, you know, they're ranked out. They've been ranked out of position. You know, they got white men basically, you know, really running the show and you know, and things of that nature. You know, a lot of it's a lot of compromising that's taking place. And that's what I'm peeping. You know, I didn't know it was like that down there. You know what I mean? I didn't know. And I was in the deep. I was, you know, I was deep in that thing. I'm not talking about Third Ward and none of that crazy shit. I'm not talking about the hood and whatnot. But on the outskirts, you know, on the outskirts, they are cosplaying Pornhub. I didn't know that shit was true. Like they're really swirling with the swirl. And like I said, to each his own. Like, you know, no judgment. There's no judgment zone. This is Planet Fitness, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just making an observation. You know, I am the black press or the brown press. You know what I'm talking about? Or the red press or whatever. You know, I'm out here pressing shit into diamonds. That's what we do. Know the ledge. 10-year anniversary coming up in 2020, January. Talk black to me. You know? So I'm just reporting. I'm Peter Parker swinging on the web. You know what I'm talking about? I'm Clark Kent working at Daily Planet. You know, doing my thing until I do my Kal-El shit at night. You know, we just reporting the news. You know, and I get it, y'all. And once I get it, there's nothing you could do about that at this point. If you see what I see, if you see it the way that I see, it's about focusing on you. You know, the brother talked about a lot about parasites. We spoke about this on Minty Occasion, Blue Pill, KT, I myself, my mother as well. The importance of, you know, knowing that your brain is in your stomach. The importance of knowing that your brain is your abdomen, your abdominal brain, knowing that that is the brain. There's two brains. There's the cerebral brain, but there's the brain that controls your whole digestive system. You know, it's basically all of your solar plexus, you know, and the importance of cleaning that out, and the importance of removing the parasites, and the importance of basically cleansing oneself, and the importance of the ayahuasca, and the importance of that toad. You know, I'm talking about being able to tap in and kill the ego and really know what this thing is, so we can't ever. I don't. You know, I won't ever be fooled again. I will never be fooled again. I know what this. It's more than meets the eye, but at least I know what it's not. And that's because you have to be willing to, it's about the journey. You know what I mean? So you're gonna hear it from all the master teachers. You know, it's about the road to perdition. Your road, your yellow brick road. Nobody can walk it for you. They ain't come up with that luxury yet of bionic legs. But the evolution will be digitized. You gotta write the future. Facts2020.org. This is what we about to do. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this in the kitchen, bruh. Watch how this shit about to cook up. 2020 is, believe me when I tell you. You know. And this is the lap. This is the time of the end of the race. This is how you gotta run it. You gotta slide into 2020 with the slide. Like, you gotta slide into that thing, with so much momentum and so much impact and so much force and so much Godspeed and so much sauce. You know what I'm talking about? And so much numbers and whatnot, that you break this, you crack that egg. You feel me? That you expand that thing and make it expand, make it explode, make it mass adopted. It's time for mass adoption. Mass adoption is around the corner. When they about to land a plane. We are an hour into New York City. Please put up your trays and put on your buckles. Captain's log. We're at that point, y'all. So we have some monumental announcements coming up. As you do know, 44 is our solar return. It's 44 November 14th. So we have some beautiful, powerful announcements coming up. Just leave that if you're ready to have the party, be a part of a historic event. Leave that weekend open. Okay. So the future is what we say it is. You know what I mean? The future is what we dictate it as. The future is what we will it as. The future is what we prepare for. Like the brother said, where is our supercomputer that's gonna punch all the probabilities? They gave you the concept of it with the Avengers Endgame. That was the primer. That was the, you know what I mean? Like, that was the pill right there. So they mass adopted that concept that you have to have a form of artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence that could do the probability test is called the D wave that we speak about and we've spoken about and will continue to speak about. And if somebody up there got a budget, we could make a movie about it. But the D wave computer, a quantum computer, is one of the top computers that you could do all of your equations. You could run all of the probabilities. You could run every single question that you need. You could begin to feed your own version of AI. It's called machine learning. So what they're doing is they're manipulating their AI by feeding it all of the information that they deem and they cherry pick. That's why the internet and the Google and all of these other things are being scrubbed. I suggest and I highly encourage you to begin to drill deeper underneath. Remember, he said the ocean is endless. Well, the ocean of this internet, the ocean of this cyberspace, the ocean of this Atlantis, this new thing, this light ship that we're on. We're on the red and blue Kachina. Remember, you don't know what cyberspace is. You haven't. What if cyberspace was one of those galaxies? Cyberspace is not a server. It's not physical. Okay, it's in the light realm. You have to be able to study this, the Ein Sof. You know what I mean? The neither. You have to get into the meme magic. This is still required reading. I was busting this down on the plane. This shit had them mad shook. That's what I'm talking about. Like I can't. You can't be you around some of these people because, like I said, they are picking up on some Agent Smith shit, and they look like they ready to. You know what I mean? They like it's like all of them watch YouTube or something. I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking about? It was some dark. It was some. It'd be some Black Mirror shit in them airports, and you know, you got Europeans coming from places where your pedigree and the stock of Negro that you are, and the frequency that you're on is not on TV. It's not on NBC. It's nowhere to be found. In the states that they live in, they probably don't come into contact with shit like that. They quality. They kind of, you know, they should be seeing us as light beings and as sentient beings and as spirits, but they categorize us in rankings of, you know, it's still a caste system, and there's still rankings that they give the Negroes, who they're, you know, because they're always about categorizing. They'll walk through your hood and, oh, look at his elongated head. I look at his jawbone. It reminds me of the Grimaldis. You know, we went on the scuba diving off the coast of Rome to explore the caves and the caverns of the Grimaldi. They be knowing all of this shit, but they'll never tell it to you. And they examine you. You know, that's the NFL Combine. You know, that's the data that they collect on people all the way up to your Fitbit at this point, with the big data that they're collecting off of your heartbeat, and your heart pace, and then it's your blood type, and then it's your teeth, and it's your dental records and whatnot. You know, then it's your DNA. You know, all of this is big data. All of this is information. All of this is feeding the AI. All of this is feeding the central brain. All of this is feeding something that they're programming, that they're going to basically interact with you, because we said it already. We that virtual is the future. Facebook is the owner of Oculus Rift, which is the top virtual company. Facebook owns them. You're going to put on your goggles. You're going to go into a virtual world. We're all going to be on YouTube looking at each other, or we'll all be able to interact with people on Facebook as if they're right in your face. You could see what Shorty really about with that cucumber. And I'm just playing. But it's going to be all kind of, you know, virtual, you know, like virtual sex. It's you know, it's right around the corner. The thing is that it's your time to develop. We have to be on code. We have to code our tomorrow. You can, yeah, Ready Player One. You can code. You have permission. The babies will do it for us. Let's make a way. The babies is going to do it. Set the way. Set it up. You know what I mean? Bet that. Put it down. Put bags on bags down. The little ones, they got this. And the other and people of the millennials and whatnot, they got this. Let's set them up. You know, we should be past the point of speculation. I think there's a segment of our people who should be past the point of speculation as to where the new oil is. You know what I'm talking about? It's big data. It's big data. You know? And it's technology. Pays like none other. There's trillion-dollar companies off the free economy. What are they selling? Big data. Advertising. But then they're jumping into other forays that are gonna help them scale and whatnot, and open up different streams of income. Our numbers are up. There's nothing to do but to build a bridge that people could cross over, so they could leave one ship and go onto another. You feel me? It's very simple. We don't want to complicate it. It's very simple. Technology and algorithms and apps need to be created to facilitate that. You know? That's it. That's the only thing that has to happen. So the transference of the currency, the transference of the people, which are the force, which are the numbers, which is all of this data. You understand? Richness, a rich, extremely valuable, you know, what's the word? Priceless demographic of the race. Remember, They create events, and then they do what? They go on big fishing boats. They go on these data mining trips, and they scoop up all of this prime information, all of this juicy information, all of this quote unquote, you know, mineral rich. You know, these the niggas wearing the minerals, mineral rich. Like when they sift through and get the gold nugget filled cloth top with rhinestones. You know, that shit that they bottling up and reselling to y'all in Whole Foods, the stuff that they're reselling to you on the History Channel, the shit that they're trying to resell to you via Netflix and the Roku and the Amazon, all of these reinterpretations of cloth that they've been watching over a very long time. You dig? And now they're selling it back to you the way that they sell everything back to you at a cheaper price, bust down. You know what I mean? Bust down. Not leveled up, but nigga bust down. And people are gonna eat that up like that's the original meal, you know? So there's work that's being done, and work will be done in the future. And those of you who are worker horses, worker bees, you know, and want to be a part of a worker union, facts2020.org. Organize and rise. Organize and rise. You know, all we have to do, we have thousands of people. We're going to be communicating on a monthly with a newsletter and some other things. But thousands of people are organizing right now. You know, that's a beautiful thing. So, you know, but yeah, man, yeah, peace to Dallas Fort Worth. You know, I'm what's goody, man? Like, what's up with these acres, man? Like, our people in Texas, and that's another thing. I did the black market out there in Houston, Texas, and it was magnanimous. It was beautiful. You know, it was a beautiful event. Um, the vendors, you know what I'm saying? They got their thing going on. So I want to give a huge shout out to Black Market Houston. This concept right here is something that is I'm not encouraging. I want encourage you to contact them. Hit up Black Market Houston. Don't go and take their idea, whatever. Hit them up and make sure if you want to do something or host them in your city that you get their permission. Don't just go out there and, you know, we have to be respectful. But that market needs to be replicated in about 10 states, about 20 states that I've already been to. Miami, Atlanta, VA, Maryland, PG, Capitol Heights, Baltimore, definitely, Philadelphia, Jersey, Newark, Brooklyn, Harlem, because that's two whole different markets, and Cali. Weekly or bi-weekly marketplaces. No lectures, none of that. All market. All market. All part of a network. Not strangers, not people who are in competition, you know, a union. A union. An organized union who are locked in through smart contracts on the blockchain and all kind of things. You know, a union, a team. You know, loyal, people who are loyalists, people who are laborers, people who are creatives. You know what I'm saying? And people who are working on themselves too. That's very important. You know, because the weak links usually have the weak centers. You know, a weak link breaks from the center. So, you know, we have to be responsible for everyone being in divine order. You know what I mean? And being proactive and being, you know, and being industrious and laborious. But the market is, I'm right, I saw it 3 times. We Buy Black. I was in a whole convention hall of all black businesses. I'm talking about top line detergent. They had phones. They had flat screens. All of this. They had beard stuff. They had boxers with the kente. I'm talking about. They had some upstairs shit, bro. All by us, young people, like with their heads on together, top of their business. Then I went to this thing in Houston. Like I'm saying, I'm going a lot of places, so I'm seeing what I need to see. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm letting you know that you know, when you hear me pop up, my niggas, make sure pop up. You know, let's take advantage of that. Because a lot of people's cries have been answered about, you know, having their own products and stuff like that, and being able to support their own people, to take the sting away from rolling the dice or playing Russian roulette whenever you go into one of these stores, whereas you don't know if you're gonna have a pleasant experience or if you're gonna be on World Star by the security guard who thought that you was stealing a goddamn bubble gum or something. You know, it's that kind of wild. It gets out of hand sometimes. So, you know. Yeah. But the flight was lovely. You know, the flight was beautiful. I want to thank everybody for all of the love that people have been like when the story about the Dorian hurricane, the Bahamas rather, or the Abaco Islands being destroyed. Like people are really on top of that now. You know, people are on top of that now. You know, and that's good that they're getting the attention that they need. I saw social media, not black media. There's no black media, all right? And I don't mean to sound like I'm trying to, you know, be pessimistic or I'm trying to be dismissive. And I'm not trying to acknowledge that there's some people out there that are doing media in a sense. So I'm gonna say that let me not make that blanket statement and say there's absolutely no black media, because that's not true. But what I was able to see in the demonstration about what happened in the Bahamas, and we all are watching the same simulation. We all are plugged into the same matrix. So I'm assuming that what I see, you see. So what I saw was there was a hurricane, a Category 5 hurricane that struck a little island, right? This little island, everybody knew what this little island was from September 1st because it struck Abaco first, right? Nobody said anything about that being where Leah died. Nobody said anything about that being where the Chinese built a military base. Nobody said anything about the Bahamas having the U.S. Navy having their own Area 51 right there in the Bahamas, in that area where Bermuda Triangle is. Nobody said anything really about the fact they didn't say about the hurricane standing stationary over that land the same way that it stood stationary in Harvey Weinstein hurricane in Houston. Remember Harvey Weinstein? He sat on top of Houston rockets and poured trillions of tons of water and flooded this black, or once again, the hurricane must be an AI, you know, anti-nigger machine hurricane or something. Or harp, whoever's on a harp, you know, they must have Rick Rubin on the harps, you know, because they're sending the destructive hurricanes, not just regular wind, you know, where niggas could surf it out and whatnot. Not those hurricanes, you know. They're sending the what are those movies? They have certain movies where they have the subgenre is like uh geostorms. Bro, everywhere where melanated people is, the Virgin Islands. Let's do the history of the Virgin Islands and put everything into context because we are in Project 1619 and this is a simulation and this is an algorithm and this is a code, right? So the thing is to utilize synchronicity and synchromysticism and other forms of chaos magic and point out the code because once you break the code, you can hack the program. This is about hacking the matrix. That's why we show up. That's what your pineal, that's what the third eye, that's what the taking the red pill allows you to do. It's gonna wake up the third eye, the mind's eye, the real eye, to what this thing really is. And it's all manipulative, it's all malleable, it's all open source. This is about life hacking, open source. Okay? So you can manipulate the open source. You were never told that they were open source, but the red pill and many others are letting you know it is open source. And those around you are coders. They're on code, right? Because they on their own, they're writing codes and they're on that code. You could almost say like the compendium of blog talk radio shows could be a GitHub of code, right? Or the collective radio shows like the breakfast clubs and all of that, that could be broken down into a code. They're setting out a code. They're writing a code. And they have a group, they have a large enough number of people who are more macro influencers. They have more blue checks. They have, because remember, we're talking about the digital world. We're talking about the light realm. We're not talking about physical world. We're talking about the new world, this new shit right here. It's about those numbers. It's about the. It's about that. It's about those metrics. You know what I'm talking about? It's about that Toro. It's about the viral. It's about the spin. So it's all numerical now. It's all numbers. It's all zeros and ones. This is magic. This is chaos magic. Padawans. Nah, I'm just playing. But this is all chaos magic. You know? The numbers are God. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Like, it's not just a numbers thing from an ego perspective either. You got to remember, we're in a digital realm now. We're in a quantum. But this is all zeros and ones. This is not bits. This is not atoms. This is bits. This is different. You know? So it's going to be shit that you're going to do in the quote unquote, there's the virtual, the augmented. The augmented mixes the two worlds. It meshes the two worlds. Virtual is what's going to really lock it in. So we exist in a small window before everything changes. And I'm just here to let you know something that we're going to know. Mass adoption. Everybody's going to know the same way that they know how to work an iPhone. They're going to know how to work virtual, and they're going to know that there's a whole new world out there that you can make or has been made for them or could be made, and it's going to blow people away. But we're going to have it, and we're going to use it, and we're going to build it to our advantage because, that's what we're willing, and that's what we're willing to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're willing it into existence because we belong to, that tribe, or we belong to that group, that selected group. We belong to the soothsayers, as the Heru twins. We belong to, to the part of the mythos of he who speaks it. We belong to the Tahuti energy, the Trismegistus, the Hermes. Speak it into existence. Speak it and it shall be. The track, the receipts speak for themselves. Everybody doesn't do that, but that is definitely something that we do, and that's something that was a power that we were told that we had, and when we did it, and it works. It is what it is. You know, it's people like that. So you have to watch what you say now. You know, but not only do you watch what you say, now you really turn up with speaking things into existence. That's why there's censorship. You don't understand. I don't think people get what's going on the digital platforms and who the digital platforms are and who they represent. And when it comes into this American God thing, who the big four, the four horsemen, or the four, you know, and don't look at it from a biblical negative sense. Just look at it as the program that fulfills the code that fulfills the rest of the code. There has to be an antagonist, there has to be a protagonist. In order for this whole thing to take place, there has to be a left, there has to be a right, there has to be a red, there has to be the blue, there has to be the AC, then it got to be the DC. That friction creates what is known as the divine spark, and that's when this whole thing gets started. You know what I mean? That's when the observation takes place. Nigga, if it's just me, then nobody's looking. If it's two of us, then that's where the observation, that's reality right there. So, you know, get on board facts2020.org. If you know anything about how we're moving right now, we're not trying to have, this is 101. YouTube is the 101 lessons. Everything else is outside of YouTube. Let's be very clear about that, because of the fact that I have to protect my intellectual property. Is very intellectual, and I got a lot of property. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be on. We can't not what we can't necessarily do too tough is give our secrets. I mean, everything is being, you know, let's be clear, like, I'm not retarded, but when I'm talking about ownership and rights, that goes outside of YouTube, you know. So, and besides, they're censoring everything, you know. There's but so much you could talk about. You know what I'm talking about? They freezing screens. They might catch me on my hand solo tonight and put me in the cryogenics, where I'll be on permanent pause. And who cares? Because it matters not. I'm not putting my physical feelings into this digital realm. What did they tell you in the Matrix? You could die in the Matrix and then die in the real world. That's how they lining it up. You feel me? But this is Jacob's Ladder. Like, where's the book? Damn, my brother took the book. I think it's called The Village and whatnot. The shit goes in about the Th3rd. You know, I'm existed in different places at once. Here it is that I'm sitting in the BX, right? My coordinates. But in this world, right here, in this black mirror, right in front of you, right? I exist. I did the roll call. So everywhere that somebody said that they at, that's where I'm at. What's fucking with that? Because, you know, Beyonce, and I'm not aiming for, you know, Beyonce Carter. I'm just giving you an example. Rihanna, Riri, could be walking by somebody's phone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm using these examples so y'all can understand what I'm saying. Anybody in the world could be walking by somebody's TV screen. They could be looking at it. It could be in a headrest when somebody's driving by. It could be in somebody's window. Whatever it is, the possibilities and the probabilities and the fact that your media and your image and your likeness and everything, your brand, everything is reaching in places all around the world in real time. There's ways that you could bring that into a fruition. There's ways to make that into something. There's ways to, there's gonna, in the future, is gonna even be more apparent. That is a power right there in this realm without being able to power trip. People just are not using, they're not approaching it from the way that there's magicians that are out here working. You're not going to get on Trump. You're not going to do anything to Trump because you're not working magic. You're not fucking with the magic. They are tapping in to Not it's the magic that is basically in alignment and in basic it evolved to fit today. There are new gods on the scene, so the magic has changed. So meme magic, Pepe the Frog, right? When they had that frog and whatnot, and they said that frog was consecrated, but then they tied that frog into Kek or Keket out of Kemet, the toad, and then we come and we talk to you about this frog. The frog is making a comeback. You know what I'm talking about? But that Pepe the Frog is a cartoon that a artist drew, and it began to get popular on the internet, and then it was adapted by Richard Spencer and the alt-right and people in 4chan and whatnot, and then they were basically doing, and then ultimately Pepe the Frog was designated as a symbol for the alt-righters, who are not necessarily considered to be Nazis. These are people who are admittingly saying that no, we're conscious, we're dealing with it, we're the conscious community of the white side. They're trying to mimic and mock, and they're trying to keep up, and they're trying to have intellectual and cultural warfare. All right, they're identifying themselves as such because they're coming with all of their talking points. They have master teachers, they have books, they have all of these things. You know what I mean? And it's easy to wash. It's easy. Somebody is eventually gonna, they're gonna. I guess one of these government agencies are gonna use one of their pawns and set up a debate because if it was organic, something would have been happened. But these people are utilizing that online. There's a magic with any online movement can matriculate into the real world as a physical event. So niggas on the internet with all of that smoke, it is matriculating into the physical world, and they getting their shit pushed back. You know what I mean? I'm just using that as one example. You know, the presidency of Donald Trump set these alt-righters. It set these are traditionalists. These groups, these new groups that came up that you saw at the when all of those groups came together in Charlottesville, right? All of these people who look like, and y'all be online playing with them. They're part of the online world, and they're part of the quote unquote comic book world. They're part of fantasy industry and whatnot. You dig what I'm saying? But they're also part of military and other things like that. You dig what I'm saying? So these people who are online in 4chan and in 8chan, these are the people who are turning on the mat. They're activating the quote unquote lone wolves. They're setting out the wolves and whatnot, and the wolves are emerging from those digital forums. They're emerging from those. It's almost like Weird Science when it had a petri dish. It's a petri dish of mad programming and propaganda, mad homoerotic kind of energy that they interject in that. They post in 4chan. When you post a story, it's anonymous, so it gives you a digital code. Now, when they would get trips, like a CeeLo, when a nigga rolls 666 or 444, when the code shot out and it gave them the numbers, if the code had 46777, they would call it the trips, right? And then their acronym for the trips was KEK. KEK, right? Like KKK or Kings County Clothier, KEK. So they would say we got a kek, a kek, a kek, a kek, a kek, a kek. But when you say a kek, a kek, a kek, a kek, a kek, you'll remember that our brother, Dr. Reggie, right? Brother Reggie, when he was teaching about Keket and all of the deities and what, and there's been many people who talked about that too. They spoke about that frog deity in Kemet, a deity of chaos and things, right? So Pepe the Frog comes into his popularity. I'm talking about, he's going viral. The Pepe energy is building up, and these groups and 4chan and in 8chan adopted a meme. Let me tell you what meme magic is. Let me explain meme magic. Meme magic is, let's use an example of meme magic. Many people know that their Jordan, his anniversary just came up recently, right? Of him, I think it was today or yesterday, a 10-year anniversary of his induction into the Hall of Fame, right? That moment is an iconic moment in history because it's in that moment at his acceptance for the Hall of Fame where he says some very interesting, funny things, and he stunted on a few players as well. But the famous Jordan crying face happened that night. Okay, that Jordan crying face has been applied to everybody that lost anything on the internet ever since. A nigga lost his keys, Jordan crying face. They lost the Super Bowl, Jordan crying face. The Little League, niggas got blown out, Jordan crying face. Somebody's whiz left them, nigga, Jordan crying face. So they was putting a Jordan crying face on everything. Okay? Right? That's meme magic. There is a property to those memes that they are definitely they have a synergy. Okay? And these memes are charged up. Logos. Yes, the Jesus memes. The Jesus memes, they're memes that are filled with energy. They're memes that you'll see and you'll feel the power in the meme because so many people are putting laughter in the meme. They're putting anger in the meme. They're putting humility. Is it humility? No, not humility. Hilarity into the meme. So we have the option. We have the power. We are makers of our own. So we understand that, we are, because Black Twitter, Instagram particularly, and Snapchat, but really like Twitter and the gram, man, Black people, we've been putting memes out there and giving them all kind of power. Remember, people who look like us, of our melanated, carbonated complexion or our carbonated makeup, we are the one of the higher users of these social media apps. You know what I mean? Us and our Latino brothers. I'm talking about, and sisters. That's what the data has. That's what the data has come back with. That's what the data is dictating. So we're coming into a reality where it's not about what I say or you say. It's what the data says. It's what the AI says. You know what I'm saying? It's with the machine learning. It's like, the machine learns you and everything about you and whatever was fed to it. This is how the machine feels. So if the machine says off with your head, if the machine is a mouse, a tongue, if the AI is on a mouse shit, what are you gonna do? Yeah, gifts as well. Gifts have a super magic as well. So that should give you an impetus that now you might as well flood the quote unquote gifts. You might as well flood with memes that are going to have empowering in your situation, your reality, your fantasy, your vision, right? But it's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. Should not feel obligated to do it. This is for those amongst us who are skilled. This is about vetting everyone for their skills. That's why Facts 2020, food, art, clothing, technology, and shelter, the importance of that is to begin to categorize, filter, and vet the network and the richness of the network and the wealth of the network and the complexities of the network that we have amongst us that we're calling a community. But the common unity that we should be having is to create things, is to build things. We need to have maker groups. We need to have creative agencies. We need to have workspaces. There's so many things that, you know, we could open up in one day. You know what I mean? 1 minute millionaire. There's things that we could do in one day. Then there's things that we could do in 1 year. So, you know, Facts 2020, come to DC, October 19th, the return of the shifters, red pill, blue pill, 19 keys, Derek Grace, RZA Islam, Brother Ben X, Billionaire PA, Pop Darby. Like, we not coming to play. We coming to snatch wigs. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we got work to do. You know, we got work to do. Catch us in the United Kingdom, October the 3rd to the 8th. The UKT alien invasion. The UKT alien invasion. Right? The UKT alien invasion. That's what we going on. So get ready for that. That's going to be monumental. You know, we global. But yeah, what a time to be alive, right? I told you. I've been telling you, you know, we could cover what's going on in the news. We could cover, you know, the surface shit, but we've always kept you abreast to what's going on cosmically, and cosmically is inside of you. You know what I'm talking about? It's always all is mental, all is inside. You know, let's clean. Let's begin to release. You know, I threw up 3 times during my daughter's birthday, not in front of her, like I said. You know, I was in the room. I had a big ass a bucket. You know, but it was all good. It wasn't mad gross. Like it wasn't as gross as it sounds. What was refreshing though was letting out all of that stuff from inside of me. That was the part that's how the only way I got better is by letting shit out. Of my body was like, no, my nigga, whatever. No, it was an emergency UN meeting, and they pushed that shit up out of there. Everything. When I drank water, the water came up. Like my stomach was squeezing like a sponge to push everything out. Like it was going through a rinse cycle. You know, imagine that times 10, and you're hitting parts of your intestines that has food in it from like 5 and 6 years ago for a long time, and these parasites that are in the billions, you know what I mean, you know, that are riding the train, they're operating the machine from the midsection, from the second brain. The same thing like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That little nigga was riding. He had the big ass, you know, mannequin looking dude and shit. You know, your second brain, your abdominal brain, your neural brain. That's why a gut shot is a fatal shot. Your neural network is in your gut. So if there's mad GMOs, if there's all kind of stuff surrounding it, if there's, I'm talking about years and years of, you know, excrement and stuff. Remember, in Hollywood, when they get money, what does everybody do? It's not because they're doing it for vanity purposes. It's not because they're doing it for vanity purposes. They lose all of the excrement inside of them, and then some of them start gaining weight, and they slip up and they get on the coke weight. You know, when niggas get bloated and whatnot, or they get on the side where they just eat themselves and they get on the Marlon Brando shit. You know what I mean? But for the most part, 86% of them are losing mad weight by cleaning out what is inside of them in order for them to move forward and get a lot of those, you know, those entities and those urges and those and shit like that, those foreigners out of their system. When you go to California, that's what you see. Hollywood. I don't know about, you know, maybe not on Broadway and shit. You know, maybe not the New York people, but that's a Hollywood, that's a Cali thing. You know, that's a get money thing. Niggas that get money, that ain't a Hollywood thing. Let me take that back. Nigga, that's just a get money thing. People get money, and obviously either all of their doctors are telling them that, but I doubt that. I think some things are more definitely instinctive, through intuition sometimes. People just, tap into certain kind of, I mean, information is going to make its way to find you. That's all I say. You can't chance everything. This is a simulation, This is a program. So there's all kind of probabilities running. There's 0011. This is a quantum universe. This is a quantum entanglement. This whole shit is quantum entanglement. This is the qubits. This is not 0 and 1. This is 01100111110. It's quantum. So things are not going the way that we think. It's not even a duality anymore. It's switching up. Henceforth, the inclusion or the introduction or all of these newer, it's not duality too much anymore, because as the D-Wave computer and the quantum internet and the quantum, that's doubling, that's quantum entanglement, that's the qubits, not the zeros and ones, that's the qubits now. So that's more numbers, right? So we got androids coming, we got AI coming. There's new genders that are being introduced, because it's not 0 and 1. It's some other shit. It's quantum. It's quantum. It's the long tail. So the long tail is in effect. And in the long tail, you're going to see this shit that used to be, traditionally atoms. 0 and 1 is atoms, but now it's turned into bits. And bits are not necessarily the same, but rather not just, no, let me take that back. It's bits and qubits. So bits is, bits will be the binary, and qubits is quantum, right? And that's like that's fourfold. Neural networks, I highly encourage the family to get the lecture that I did. The first In Too Deep with Brother Rich, though, that was from 3 years ago or something. I really go in deep about that deep mind and some other things dealing with what we building on. And then we touch on it a little while later too. Oh, my bad. Quantum supremacy. What am I talking about? Pause. Quantum supremacy is a lecture that I did. I think it's like 4 hours. That goes all the way into the the D wave, the quantum computer, the shit that will change the course of history for ADOS, black people, black Brazilians. Look, it's $10 million. There's all of us on this planet right now who not just woke, right? Look at this. Not just woke, but on a frequency, right? On a frequency to whereas you don't gotta be a rocket scientist to understand these simple mathematics. The D-Wave machine is a quantum. We can have fun with life. You know what I'm talking about? We can have fun with life again. We could really play this thing outside of this mundane reality that everybody has agreed to, because through the music is programming and some other things, but this boring reality that a lot of people are stuck in, this Groundhog Day. Nigga, we could be doing some different things. So go and do the research on it. Not Dwayne Wade. Not my guy. Pause. D-Wave. Like the wave, my nigga. Like Max B. W-A-V-E. D-Wave machine. So $10 million, we could do that in one day. That's a fact. I seen what shout out to Jay Morrison. He showed me what could be done. We could triple that. He showed me what could be done with his Tulsa real estate fund. You could roll out an equity crowdfunding campaign where you could legally raise $10 million. You could easily roll out an equity fund. We could roll it out. You know what I mean? We will be rolling it out. Like, I'm going to show you. And $10 million amongst the numbers that we represent as a people, when we are able to show you what the D-Wave will be able to do. Because once we start running probabilities and basically building out different models and whatnot, once we use the quantum computer for 1% of its purpose. When I say everything changes for the complete better, I mean, like, to the point where we'll be able to go in time travel and see exactly what happened, uh, minute by minute, through any dynasty. The same way that you pull up, Netflix, and it's a box set and it's like a whole series and whatnot. Game of Thrones series, season 1, episode this. You'll be able to pull up 18th Dynasty, year 1, year 2, things like that. Like, you'll be able to tap in to the past and the present and the future, like you watch Netflix and binge on it. That's what the quantum is going to allow you to do. It's going to tap into multiple, it's going to tap into quantum universes. It's going to tap into the multiverse. It's going to tap into quantum entanglement. You know what I'm saying? That's what it does. It's quantumly, and it entangles the quantum unit. When they turn on the D-Wave machine, it taps into the quantum unit. It's called quantum entanglement. It taps into another reality. That's what it does. And then it taps into another reality. Somebody said they need a desktop. I know, shit. I need a tablet. I'm up here talking about the D-Wave. But, you know, wait until you see the power of the word. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. Wait until you see the power of the word. Now, keep your ears. Let me just, keep your ears out there in the wave. Because remember, the mass media is still the wave. This is still an ocean of information, right? This is still the water bearer and whatnot. So the wave is the news stories that come out. The wave is the fact that you're gonna hear about D-Wave popping up in the news very soon, because we're all having, the numbers are enough. It's 471 of us right now. So collectively, we are all spread around the grid. So we're a mastermind group right now. And that's enough numbers to make that happen. And it just so happens that if 470 of us is watching, the probability that 800 of us is watching, because everybody not alone. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody not in the room like just like me by my lonesome. Somebody got their bay with them. You know what I mean? So 800 something people collectively thinking about seeing themselves turn on a quantum machine, and when they go and do the research and we're all connected on this grid, that's chaos magic, and it's nothing to run from. Don't be afraid of it. Chaos magic is what you niggas call juju, or what you call basically black magic, or what you call the tapping into the darkness, the neither. You know what I'm talking about? Strings. So collectively we give birth because we are on the frequency vibrating at a very, very high frequency. Nobody can't miss it. So you don't have to worry about proving it. It's still a resonance. You're on a magnetic grid. You're still vibrating at a certain resonance. Resonance don't lie. You can't lie about your resonance. You can't lie about your aura. You can't lie about your light. You have to live that. You have to be that. You have to willfully push for that. And every day that you wake up is Groundhog Day. You get to do it again. So don't worry about it. You get a second chance every morning. But the D-Wave is going to go online. I'm not going to, I wish I could say more, but I can't. Not right now, yeah. I think, because you'll get up here and start telling a whole goddamn, fantasy novel and shit. You know what I'm talking about? On YouTube. On YouTube. I need y'all to hit that Cash App. I've seen that since Empress B is not here, nobody is sending Cash Apps. There's a lot of inactivity, And that's being creatures of habit. You know, people are very used to her being extremely active. YouTube is going, you know, they're playing chess with us. They blocked her as a moderator. They blocked another moderator. I have people who are inboxing me and said that when they commented on some of these videos, they're being banned and they're being blocked by YouTube. So it's CoinTelPro 2.0. They're sticking around. Y'all are at the spot getting fresh food. I'm giving y'all commissary and whatnot. And you know the COs is around the corner stopping certain people and taking their bags while the rest of us go back to our cells and whatnot and lock in. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, I'm just letting y'all know what's happening in the yard. You know what I mean? What's going on in this motherfucking prison complex, you know, with these folks. With these folks. Because these people ain't been playing no games with me for centuries, and it never stopped anybody from doing what needs to be done. Because I didn't show up for nobody. I didn't show up for donations. You know, I didn't show up for, but I, you know, shit. After a long day of spooning out food and giving out and feeding the people, you know what I mean. And I'm left to clean the kitchen up and put the dishes away. I'm gonna count the tip jar. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna count the tip jar for you know for being at the stove and putting out these plates. And that's just simple. That's how our people work. This is spiral. This is a toro. This is centrifugal. But if you never get back to me, it's not centrifugal because you never got back to me. I put it out, but the shit never came back. So there's, you know, so sometimes the oral, sometimes things are not able to complete because that aura or that circle or that it's not connecting, it's not coming back around. You feel me? That's a cipher. That's the build. The build is the 360, my genius. You know what I mean? Not the 180. Yeah, so I appreciate everybody with the cash apps. I salute to all of y'all. If you're not familiar with it, we've been putting out shows every week, every day this week. So when you get off of this show tonight, go into the archives. I've been linking up and forming up the Wonder Twins, me and Blue Pill. We did a 9/11 show last night. Did is one for the record books. And the night before that, we decoded and we broke down Hurricane Dorian and the destruction of the Bahamas and the Abaco Islands. Y'all got to check that out. That's a classic. You know, Cash App is Phil money sign PhilMoreland. I'll put it in the chat real quick. Or if there's anybody in the chat, my hands are not that free. Not even not that free. They don't even let me write in the chat. I could just see the chat. But Phil Moreland. Do I have any moderators? PhilMore. Right? More what we need. Right? We need to fill up. Right? We need to get together, right? Because the power is in a collective. When we form Voltron or when we come together because of the resonance field, because of who we all are, because of the fact that our ancestors will begin to meet each other back up. Remember, it's all spiritual. We're all walking with certain deities. We're walking with certain crowns. We're walking with certain entities. But when we come together collectively, those entities form Voltron and come together and click up and do other little things, and information is gathered and data is passed, and it's all of these things going on. That's why I say the real or people who are ready to make some real things happen, we have to link up. We got to get up. We need to be 5,000 deep somewhere. We need to be 10,000 deep somewhere with an agenda. You know what I'm talking about? With a purpose. And I promise you that you're going to see magic take place. So organize so we can rise. We have to fill up more land. That's my name. Fill up. We need to fill up. We need to come together and fill up the bank, fill up banks, fill up, right? With lover of horses, stallions, get at me. I'm just playing. You know, I'm a lover of horses, which explains the polo. You know what I'm talking about? Fill up more, but it's just Phil this time on the Cash App. PHIL, right? More M-O-R-E, land, right? That's my purpose. I could just do that and be good. I fulfill my name. I need to fill up more land. I want y'all to live on moreish land, and I want y'all to fill it up. If I came to you and say, yo, I got my estate in the Caribbean, you know, come and fill it up. But beware, my geniuses, when them hurricanes come, you got to get off that. You got to get on the top of that island, or we got to find a way to get up off that thing, you know, because we ain't gonna have another. I don't want to see what I saw in a Baco. But they so wicked that they coming with that hurricane the day before. You feel me? That should be like a category 1. Then the next day it'd be a 5 and it's in your backyard. I was in Miami and they hit it with Katrina, and they were on the news saying that Katrina was coming 2 days later. They hit it that night, bro. That's a fact. My email is themart125th@gmail. Themart125th@gmail. Anybody who wants to be an affiliate, I need y'all to send me an email as well. If you want to be a part of this affiliate program that we're rolling out, just send me the email and I'll send you some of the information. All right, the Mart 125th. That's it. THEMART number 125TH@gmail. This is an income stream opportunity. It's not an MLM. It ain't no damn pyramid scheme. It is a income stream opportunity. It's a simple affiliate program, meaning that if you sell some shit, you get a percentage of it. All right. So hit me up. It's an opportunity for you to make some extra bread, because everybody needs multiple income streams so they could feed their thirst. We all got some thirst, right? You know, and we all have plants to water. You understand? We all have plants to water. So Phil Moreland, I appreciate everybody for, you know, making that happen and leaving their tips after this plate, after this meal is over with, you know. And it's a beautiful thing, because I'm off the grid. I'm functioning off the grid, and people are leaving tips 5 days later. You know, that feels appreciative, because remember, there's no better feeling in this profession called infopreneurism than to be, or frontlineism, or grassroots work, or soapbox, or put your life and neck and face and everything on the line, than to feel appreciated. You know, man never asks for much. You know, I think all black men, really, I can only speak for them. You know, no offense to nobody else, but I think the majority of black men want to feel appreciated. And somebody will be like, but they don't appreciate, and we're not getting that all the way into those. Let's not go down that highway right now. I'm just saying, at the core, people, not black or white, or people, just human beings, as an instinct, as a natural instinct, as part of the program that's programmed in us, they want to feel appreciated. You know, it's a nectar. It's a growth hormone. It releases dopamine. It releases the chromosomes. It opens up certain kind of cheat codes. It's part of the open source hack. It's part of the open source hack. Enthusiasm is gained off of appreciation, and enthusiasm makes way through breakthroughs. Nigga, I've been enthusiastic and wrote some fire shit. You know what I'm talking about? Bars. I was enthusiastic and came up with some ideas for some crazy ideas. I've been enthusiastic and charged up and lit and come up with some magical stuff. But I've also been in my lowest place, damn near on the floor, curled up in a fetus. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a bed after I've thrown up, and my six pack, my shit I feel like six pack Shakur, because I feel like Travis Scott. You know what I mean? You see that nigga abs? Like he got ab plastic surgery. That nigga like a Ken doll. My shit was feeling like Travis. My shit was feeling like motherfucking Travis Scott because I was throwing up and my muscles was contracting so much that I had a temporary six-pack. And in that state, I came up with some bars for my Soul Brooklyn remix that was bananas. That shit just was downloaded. Because remember, you know, in crisis, a saw or in crisis, Osiris saw Isis. Translation to that is, in your most painful moments or in your most crisis moments is where you're going to see God. That's when you're going to have your breakthrough. That's why there's people who flirt with death and they get rewarded with foreigns. You know, I'm talking about ice tray to grill. You know, they get rewarded with physical, material trinkets and rewards because they are doing what? They're outside of the comfort zone. They're hacking the code. Remember, the code is in the comfort. The comfort is the lockdown. Look, comfort is a warm blanket that keeps us wrapped in the desire to receive for the self alone, oblivious to the urgent need to change. Nigga, get out your comfort zone. What's comfortable for the body is misery for the soul. As souls, we're trapped in the 24-hour survival drama of the bodies we inhabit. The comfort we truly long for the ultimate and only comfort, is union with the creator. Bufu, nigga. MEO5DMT. Talk black to me, nigga. Bufu, Toad Medicine. Then hot boxing with Mike. Go and watch Mike Tyson. He'll talk about it. Nigga, a union with God. I was shook daddy. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Fuck out of here. I was shook daddy. I'm not trying to take no shit. And I come back as, you know, as not as rambunctious as the red pill that you know. I didn't know what was gonna happen. But on the Lionsgate, nigga, 5 DMT. I tapped in, nigga. I tapped all the way in. And that I made my union with God. And I killed the ego. And it was cool. I let him down. I just put him down. Like, I let it go. I breathed him out of me. And the breath, right? Coincidentally, we got the song Last Breath. But the through the breath, I tapped into the all. It's almost like just falling right back in the sea. It's almost like putting a cup of water and pouring it back into the sea, and it's part of the infinite. And everything around it is water. The fish don't know that it's in the ocean until you take that nigga out. You know? You don't know that you part of the motherfucking all. You don't know that you part of this energy, this whole energy field. But it's a feel. It's not just. It's a creative, living, love feel. It feels like God, yo. It's nothing to be afraid of at all. That's why niggas be. That's why people. Let me rephrase that. That's why individuals throughout time have transitioned with smiles on their faces. You know what I mean? Especially people of an older age who they tap out in their sleep. Kool-Aid smiles. There's a calmness that washes over you, and then after that, it's over. I'm just here to let you know. You know, get out your comfort zone. If you're really about that life, like, I don't know what you're here for, and I'm not judging anybody. Everybody got their own pace. The world is the war of the two opposite forces, light and darkness. There is no permanence in the universe. There is only movement. We are either heading towards the light or we're heading for darkness. Through our actions, we choose our directions. The source of light, better known as God, is the wellspring of all joy, fulfillment, and life. The force of darkness, better known as ego, nature, is the source of all pain, suffering, and death. So you got ego, which is pain, suffering, and death. And you got God, which is joy, fulfillment, and life. Because remember, you don't have to die. You don't have to, the pain that you feel and the death that you're afraid of and all of that shit that you got to get ready for, nigga, that's ego. You don't die. You know what NERD is. After a while, you know that no one ever really dies. You know that you're a nerd. You know that you're a nerd. You know that you on Neptune when you motherfucking tap in, nigga. And then it all makes sense. You can't die. That energy can't die. It's not mortal. It's not a mortality energy. It's a force. No one ever really dies. Nigga, this is a Netflix series that we living out. Have fun with it. You know what I'm talking about? Have fun with it. Let your nuts hang. You know, when you walk through the airport, nigga, hold your head up and do you. I'm here to let you know it doesn't matter what you do. There's gonna be a segment of people who are going to fear you because they don't understand you. They're not comfortable around some shit that they don't understand. I've been around Europeans of every persuasion, niggas dressed up like cats, KKK ones, blue blood ones, aristocratic ones, mentally challenged ones, serial killer ones, all kind of shit. And I don't feel no kind of way around them. I just got one. I keep one eye open like CBS, but I'm not in fear. I'm not shaken. And if one of them sets off my spider sense like that, I'll be able to assess the threat level, and that'll be what it is. But the other way that I'm seeing, not just for me, I'm not a tough guy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm far from motherfucking I'm far from you know, scary looking. I don't think so. Hello. But the way that these the older ones especially, they know something that I know. They know something that I know. You know, they know. Like Shorty Low said, they know. And I can't say it on YouTube, but they know. You know what I mean? They know. I could tell they know. You know? And it's all biblical. And it's all crusader shit. It's all historical. You remind them of the Moor. You know what I'm talking about? You remind them of the motherfucking Moor coming through. You remind them of a goddamn Corsair. You remind them of a motherfucking Zulu. You remind them of the warriors that they came up against. They know the algorithm, nigga. They know what it looked like. Let's not play dumb. Let's not play retarded. You know? These is wizards and warlocks, nigga. They looking at auras and all kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about? They sitting there smirking, looking at all of their work and whatnot on the plantation, this United States that's everywhere that they're at, their open air plantation, and they're just sitting back. And here comes a free nigga, a rambunk, what do they call it? A uppity Negro, a free nigga. Look at this. Look at these niggas. Look at this free nigga coming in here uncouth. That's how we will be cutting through shit. I don't care what reality you niggas want to pull up. Chattel slavery, civil war, the crusades, what you niggas call the Inquisition. There was a nigga walking through that bitch like, fuck out of here, move. You know what I mean? It was a few of them. It never changed. So there was a contingency, there was a pedigree, and there was a stock of us, a percentage, maybe 5, who was on their God shit in their proper persona. And rather than be victims, they were victors. And they got the respect, and they got bowed down, and people kissed the ring wherever they went. That's your knights, the Knights Templars. That's Saint Maurice, who was an African. You know what I'm saying? That's many of our people. Don't let them fool you, bro. Don't let them fool you. Nowadays, that's like the rappers or the athletes in some regards, the way how they move around in what they call dominant society, or they move around the globe for that matter, and they're treated like Moorish royalty, or they're treated like nobles. They're treated like L's and Bays. Like maybe the athletes will get treated like L's, the rappers will get treated like Bays, bays meaning that everything is free. They're putting them up in the finest 4-star. They're putting them up in suites and whatnot, presidentials. I'm talking. They putting them up in their version of castles nowadays, and they're giving them full access to here's my they're giving them access to women. They're giving them access to the spoils. They're giving them access to fashion, garments, and stuff like that. They're gifting them the same thing that they would do for you when you would come through as a royal. You know what I mean? You would come through as a sovereign. They were your vassals. Remember, they were paying you tribute. So there was already a fear. The fear was already there. They were paying you tribute. When I say you, let me qualify that, okay? Because it's an ambiguous term. No offense. It's an ambiguous term. You is not everybody. Okay? You is not everybody. So they wasn't doing that with everybody. You know what I mean? It wasn't that simple. But there was a selected few, you know, there was a selected few who were being paid tribute to anything that they wanted, you know what I'm saying? From cattle to family members to grain to gold, to pieces of silver, to stones, to horses, anything. It was any currency, any form of currency whatsoever. They were given that. They could get off of their armadas and whatnot. They could get off of their flotillas. They could get off of their navy. They could get off of whatever ships that they pulled up on, whether it was light ships or ships in the oceans, and they got shit cracking. They got shit cracking. They had high sciences. These are high scientists of the highest order. These are priesthoods. These are sorcerers. These are people who the forest would bow down to, and the jungles would open up for. You know what I'm talking about? And the oceans would open up for. Like the brother said, they lived in the ocean, or how there's life inside of the ocean. The ocean is not just the ocean. Like this, the same concept that you could have about the internet being an igloo. Look at the sign of an igloo. So the surface internet is the www world, but the deep web compromises the part of the igloo that you don't see, and then the dark web is also part of the igloo that goes miles and miles and miles and miles and miles down. You don't see it on the surface, but that's 90% of what they call the internet. You do not have access to. That's the same thing with the ocean. Remember, that shit cuts off at a certain pace to the length to where they are allowed to go. It ain't that they can't go. How they going into? How they say we saw shit blowing up light years away, and they mean, or they like, yo, we saw an exoplanet that looks like the Earth. It's 45 million light years away. We're sending a ship is gonna be there in 45 years, and they're like, we got pictures that's on our website. So if you could see into Deep Space Nine, what's stopping you from seeing the bottom of the ocean? What's stopping you from putting any kind of optical, what's stopping you from traveling to the bottom? You know, because it's not what you think it is. The minute you could qualify an aircraft that could go inside of the ocean, and air being able to breathe like this and talk like this is not a problem, then it's not it won't it's not the steel or whatever material it is made of, it will never get crushed under that pressure. Then the possibilities is endless as to where as to what can open up. The same way that the brother Seven Bomar said, when you are born out of your mother's womb, it's out of the waters, and then it opens up, right? And then you go into a new world, which is this world, right? Out of the waters, out of the darkness, out of the womb. So inside of that ocean, out of the waters, out of that darkness, that triple darkness at the bottom of the very ocean, you might come out through that into a whole new world. That's the middle world. You understand? That's Agartha, or that's that world that they say exists, where things are operating as a what's the word? Is it synergy? It's the It's operating it through a hierarchy. It's like a well put together machine. That's how the society works. Okay, nobody is basically out of their position. All right, everyone is in position. Everybody is working together. Okay. All right. Look, what is Agartha? Agartha. That is a good question. By most accounts, Agartha is somewhere under the earth, perhaps below the Gobi Desert. Ganoon himself will ponder this and write about it in his book, The Lord of the World. Go get that book. Wherever Agartha is, it is governed under the laws of Synarchy. Synarchy. The opposite of anarchy. So you have the Antifa. Well, you need to balance it with the Syntifa. Synarchy. A totalitarian, caste-bound, organic social ordering headed by the sovereign pontiff known as the Brahmata, the Brahmatma, Gunan's Lord of the world. He is the supreme ruler, the spiritual and political head of a theocratic state. Synarchy is the sort of government many traditionalists would approve of. It's the kind of literalized body politic based on universal principles in which everyone has his or her proper place and in which there is little room for what we think of as democracy. It is, depending on one's perspective, a stable or rigid social environment, something along the lines of Plato's Republic or the Hindu laws of Manu. Fundamentally, it means a society based on a threefold division of the human being into intellectual, emotional, and instinctive function. Okay? That's from the Dark Star Rising, Gary Latchman. Go get this book. You know, so these are the things that are being not just written about, but explored and and spoken of from perspectives of people who are experiencing these realities. These are not fake realities. This is a quantum universe. Like I said, D wave. Go. Let's all resonate and see ourselves turning on the D wave machine, right? The D wave machine, the quantum computer that will put us on. That it will solve everything. It will solve all of these. It will put us in a hot boy summer. Hot. It will put us on a board with mad points. It would get us up there, ride the boat. It would get our numbers up, okay, against every single other nationality who Tel Aviv, the Israelis, the Chinaman, all of these people who are ascending to quantum supremacy. We got to play that game. By the time niggas figure it out, it's going to be too late. Don't wait on the rappers to do it. They're going to let us down. They're controlled. They're contracted. They don't have the social credit that's available to do what it is that they have to do, because the competition and the people who are aiming for quantum supremacy are the same people who own them on paper. It's a sorry state, but they got some well-dressed cadavers out there. You know what I'm talking about? And some polished slaves that are playing on the porch and niggas is getting excited. But in the field, the wave, in the field, you know what I'm talking about? That's where the magic happens. In the field, that's where the resonance is. In the field, in the dirt, nigga, we getting it out the mud. In the underworld, in the underground is where the growth takes place. You understand? You understand? In the field. Fuck the house. We could build the field. The field is when I did the shout out. The roll call is the field. The resonance field, the magnetic field. So I'm everywhere. We everywhere. But I'm everywhere because I'm saying I'm the one being broadcasted through the Black Mirror. Am I still in Houston? I'm in the quantum field. I'm in the Bronx. But this is the quantum field. And once we learn that we're manipulating the field with our feelings and the things that we're saying and our energy, right? And we're bending the spoon, then we will realize what it is that needs to be done. Because I'm nowhere and everywhere at the same time. What's fucking with that? What's fucking with that? I highly suggest those of you who have young star seeds, the little ones, prepare them to do shows like this. Not like this, of course, but like this. I'm talking to the phone. I'm keeping it in, I'm minimalizing this shit. I'm making it very simple. This is not a full-scale production. That's coming soon. Don't worry about that. We'll see me in 8K. You don't got to worry about that. It's coming very soon. But this is minimalist right here to show you that anybody could do it. You think we can't have 3D, 8K cameras and everything? Right now, it's on the phone, on the iPhone. Full moon, put in you got this show, you got the Brother Rich show, you got go and listen to the show from tonight, go and listen to Billy Carson, even the Dame Dash interview. Rich is on a super roll with the Powerful Trinity. Go and listen to the Holy Ghost album. This is Friday the 13th. This is a magical portal day. This is the moon. Put in the work. You got enough keys. If you can't get no more, don't be greedy. And I'm not saying it in a facetious way. It's mad plates. It's mad food to eat. Cut it in pieces. Listen to the Soul Brooklyn Challenge. You know, whatever you got to do, meditate. Burn it down, tap in, whatever you do to defocalize. You know, go and get that told. Whatever it has to be done, do it. This is the culmination. This is the harvest. This is all the work that you put in. This is how you reap what you sowed. Right? You reap what you sowed. So you know, you hit the head crack, pick the bread up. Right? Pick the bread up. The produce is fully grown, it's ripe. Pick the food and put it in a basket. Friday the 13th. Let's talk about Jason. Could we have a Jason check? It's Friday the 13th. I think we need a Jason episode tomorrow because this whole shit's been Jason. Remember, dog days of the summer. Sirius rising. This whole shit is serious. The fires, you know what I'm talking about? Everything is serious. Everything is a culmination of Dark Star Rising, the motherfucking hurricane in the Bahamas, all serious energy. All serious. So let's do a this Friday the 13th, Jason. That shit right here. That Friday. This is Jason. Let's do a Jason check. How they been cooking, them white boy, them European, them wizards, these meme magicians. Remember, this is occult politics. Go and research occult politics. You're living in the day and age after, it will never be the same after Trump. Or maybe it will, who knows? Occult politics. Epstein, Weinstein, all of that, it plays a part. Clinton, Trump, all post 9/11, all part of the program. Occult politics, 18-year anniversary of 9/11 and whatnot. Niggas forgot that George Bush knocked down the towers. Occult politics. One of his best friends and one of his admirers is Michelle Obama. Occult politics, nigga. This is the same president that was looking over Katrina and allowed our people to drown. He did the same thing that Trump did with the Bahamas. Occult politics. And Michelle Obama said she loves him to pieces. It's all occult politics, man. You had another earthquake in Cali. Yeah. Sending you love and light. Y'all protect yourselves out there, please. You know, stakes is high. This election season is coming. They at the stove, they cooking. Let's do it. Me and Blue Pill may do a Jason episode tomorrow. I think that's important. Friday the 13th, Jason. You know what I'm talking about? Jason 2020. Jason 2020. Yeah, let me see pics of the real Epstein. Send it to my email and whatnot. Send it to my email. Shout out to Black Ice TV out there in the UK. I need y'all to know we have some exciting announcements coming up dealing with Black Ice TV store. We have a launch coming up. One of the premier online marketplaces based in the UK, but globally, global, Africa, America, the UK, the Caribbean and whatnot. Shout out to Black Ice TV. You know what I mean? Shout out to Creative Concepts. Shout out to the family over in the UK. I look forward to seeing y'all October the 3rd to the 8th. We will be in a building in the United Kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down. Coming to the UK in October. Yes. Coming in October. Okay. And I'm coming to the DC area for the Shifters reunion in October as well. Okay. We might do something in the DMV the day before. I'll let you know. But we on our way. And right around the corner. October, right around the corner. The 19th. So we're in the UK, Birmingham, London, all over. It's an invasion. We're going to be there for like 5 days. Go to our Instagram has everything. Our Instagram has the flyers. Until further notice, go and sign up to KTLUniversity.com, y'all. Make sure y'all get I get y'all emails, and go to facts2020.org. Make sure you sign up to that as well. That's right. If it's your B-Day, pull up. We may be live streaming it too. So if you live somewhere else, you may be able to tap in and be in a building digitally. Yeah. Oh yeah, Scorpio season is legendary this season. Mr. October or Miss October. Scorpion season is gonna be legendary this year. This is our 44th. So look, I'm gonna tap out, y'all. It's been love. I appreciate everyone who was in the building tonight. I think that we should do a collective meditation and not just tap out real quick. We should do a collective meditation. I'm gonna play a song. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna do the Om Padme Om. We're not gonna do that right now. I'm encouraging, when you get off, you could do that. Right? I'm gonna play some music. Let's focus on abundance.
And when you deal with the definition of essences, as Brother A.A. said, you then deal in the realm of magic, because it is through the word and the animation of the word through your voice and through the information of your voice that you cause the 4 elements.
Cash App, money sign, Phil Moreland, kingscounty.bigcartel.com.
To no longer be just conscious as themselves, but through your word, to become conscious of themselves. And that's when you begin to project magic. That's when you change your reality.
I went from living like monks, living out back of the trunk, to pockets of fat with the monks, pockets of fat like the club. Now I am living like Trump. Now I am living like Trump. Mimosas and mimosas, mimosas and mimosas, mimosas and mimosas, the Morris Costa Nostra. Pulling up in Testarossa, we dodging the debt, discharging the debt, discharging the debt, recharging the jet. Swipers on deck, ciphers on deck, ciphers on deck, wipers on deck, wipers on deck. My life is on check, my life is on check, my life is on two, my life is a Jew, my life is on you. My wife is on 2, my wife is on 2. I'm going for 3, you know it is me. Red is the pillar, the jet is my pillar, the fez is the killer, the bread is gorilla, the flow is Godzilla, the lizard a beast. I visit the priest, and tell him my sins. I tell him I'm twin, I tell him I'm him. High majesty, high as can be, I am a mountain, I'm by the fountain, the fountain of youth.
Burn that ancestor money, y'all. Do your affirmations.